This video is an introduction to some of the ideas you'll meet in a course on real analysis, explained using some simple problems. Imagine a woman firing an arrow from a bow. She fires it towards a brick wall, and the tip of the arrow is 160 meters from the wall. Assume the arrow travels in a straight line directly towards the wall, so we ignore the small effect of gravity on the arrow. Also assume it travels at a constant speed of 80 meters per second, so we'll ignore the small effect of air resistance on the arrow. The first question is, what happens? Okay, pause the video, work out your answer, and then restart it. I'll continue. The answer is that the arrow hits the wall after 2 seconds. We'll now consider a paradox described by the Greek philosopher Zeno in around 450 BC. He said, break the motion up into steps. First, the arrow is fired and it gets halfway to the wall. Then half of the distance still remains to travel. Next, the arrow continues moving and travels half of the remaining distance. This leaves half of the previously remaining distance, or a quarter of the total distance, left to travel. Again, the arrow travels half of the remaining distance now, and the other half separates it from the wall. We can continue this process again and again, taking a snapshot of the arrow every time it travels halfway to the wall. Imagine we take our first snapshot when the arrow has travelled exactly half of the distance. Then we take our second snapshot when it's travelled half of the remaining distance, and so on. The next question is, which is the first snapshot to show the tip of the arrow within 5 meters of the wall? Pause the video again and work out the answer. I'll continue. It's the fifth snapshot. In the first 5 snapshots, the arrow is at 80, 40, 20, 10, and then 5 meters from the wall. Except maybe the question wasn't clear. What if within 5 meters meant that the distance should be less than and not equal to 5 meters? Then the answer would have been the sixth. When we specify the question, we should be careful to say which of these we want. From now on, we'll assume that it's allowed to be equal, or less than. Next question. Which is the first snapshot to show the tip of the arrow within 1 meter of the wall? Pause the video again and work out your answer. I'll continue. The answer is the 8th. On the 7th snapshot, the arrow is 1 1/4 meters from the wall, and on the 8th it is 5/8 of a meter from the wall. That's 0.625 meters, so it's less than 1 meter. Zeno said that we can carry on this process forever. At each stage, the arrow gets closer to the wall, but it never reaches it. Therefore, the arrow never reaches the wall. What do you make of Zeno's argument?